Garmin Descent Mk3i review script. Most people overpay for dive computers and smartwatches because they buy them separately, spending way more than they need to. The Garmin Descent Mk3i kind of flips that entire approach on its head, and I've been wearing it for a few weeks now. Link is in the description if you want to check the latest price on Amazon. So here's the thing about this watch: it's technically a dive computer first, which means it's built from the ground up to handle underwater stuff, but it's also a full-featured GPS smartwatch for everything else in your life. That dual purpose is actually what makes it different from most options out there. Let me start with the display because that's honestly one of the first things that grabbed me. You get this 1.4-inch AMOLED color screen with sapphire crystal on top, which means it stays incredibly crisp and readable both in sunlight and underwater. When you're checking dive logs or looking at your training data on the surface, the colors pop. When you're underwater with the backlight on, you can actually see what you're doing without squinting, and that matters when you're checking your depth or bottom time. The air integration feature is probably one of the most practical aspects here. Instead of lugging around a separate wireless transmitter for your tank pressure, this watch connects directly to your air tank. You can see your remaining air supply right on your wrist without fumbling with additional gear. It's genuinely convenient if you dive regularly, and it removes one more piece of equipment from your setup. Now, the subwave sonar networking is something I wasn't expecting to use much, but it's actually cool. Essentially, divers wearing compatible Garmin watches can share their position and other basic info underwater without needing cell service or traditional networks. It's not game-changing for casual divers, but for people doing group dives or exploring new spots, knowing where your buddy is without looking around constantly adds a real safety layer. Beyond diving, this functions as a solid multisport GPS watch. You get standard running, cycling, swimming, hiking modes with full GPS tracking. The training load features help you understand if you're overtraining or need to push harder, and the fitness metrics pull together everything from VO2 max estimates to recovery times. For active people who aren't strictly divers, it covers all those bases without feeling bloated. Battery life is honestly solid too. You're looking at roughly 7 days in smartwatch mode, and about 14 to 16 hours per dive if you're using it primarily underwater. That's realistic for the AMOLED display and all the features packed in here. Let me be honest about the trade-offs. The main pro is the versatility. You get a legitimate dive computer with smartwatch capabilities in one device, so you're not juggling multiple watches. It's built well from titanium, and that sapphire lens stands up to real use. The second pro is that air integration removes hassle from your diving routine. The con worth mentioning is that this isn't cheap. If you only dive once or twice a year, you might be paying for capabilities you don't use. Also, the learning curve for all the dive-specific settings is steeper than your basic smartwatch. Overall, if you dive even semi-regularly and want a watch that actually works for your whole lifestyle, this one's worth checking out. Links below if you want to see the bundle options and current pricing on Amazon.